Hello, my name is Drew Dahlberg, and I'm presenting on broadcasting in the Olympics from the 1920s until now. The modern day Olympics began in the year 1896 and has been a worldwide phenomenon since its introduction to the worldwide stage. In total, there have been 28 Summer Olympic Games and 22 Winter Olympic Games held in 23 and 19 cities respectively across 5 continents. As the Olympics grew more and more popular, broadcasting technologies to share that excitement of the Olympics grew as well. The first of those new technologies was the radio. Up until that time in the 1920s, the only way to get the word out to other people were through promoters, chambers of commerce, newspaper owners, sports writers, and press agents who distributed that message for them. With the inclusion of the radio, people were able to tune in at home. The radio was the talk of the town and the hottest item to have. The 1930s were the beginnings of World War II and the Great Depression in the United States. Technological advancements were put to use outside of the Olympics, and the Olympics was put on hold until 1948. There were plans to incorporate the use of a new technology called television broadcasting in the 1940 Olympics in Helsinki, but due to the war, which brought trouble to the Olympic Committee, they had no choice but to cancel the 1940 Games. In the 1940s and 1950s, after World War II, television was introduced into the Western world. While TV technology took its first steps in the Olympics in 1940, it grew tremendously by the Olympics in 1948. For the first time, Olympic images were beamed directly into homes, and the filming was live. Angles and perspectives were multiplied, and stories were told. The spectators' experience moved from being collective, where you had to go to the cinema and TV halls, to being family-oriented. It was in 1956, the Cortina Winter Games, where television broadcasting to the world made its debut. Television broadcasting was given a high priority by the organizers of those Winter Games, who thought the remote region would act as a deterrent to those who might have contemplated attending the events. They desired maximum exposure for the competitions. In the 1960s and 1970s, there were television sets in almost every home. Television programming was inspired by the Olympics and began its never-ending marathon of technological and global progress. These decades saw a number of firsts. Rome in 1960 had the first live broadcast to many European countries. Tokyo in 1964 had their first satellite broadcasts, and Mexico City in 1968 had the first wireless handheld color camera. Audience sizes reached into the hundreds of millions, and viewers were thrilled to be participating in some way with the Olympic Games. By the 1970s, everyone in the world with access to a TV was able to view the Olympics with live color images. By this time, the International Olympic Committee was afraid that the Olympic spirit, called Olympism, was being drowned by the negotiations for commercialization and marketing rights. The 1980s through the 1990s brought more and more people to be able to view the Olympics. Speculations continued to rise as Olympism turned more towards commercialism because the International Olympic Committee started taking bids for who would broadcast the Olympics. NBC ended up paying the most money and was able to win the bid and brand themselves with the Olympic logo, which created a distinctive identity within the television industry and among viewers as the official network of the Olympic Games. During NBC and their ownership of Olympic rights, broadcasting technologies like the first computer and the first VCR recording were created. The broadcasting of the Olympics today is an ever-changing and dynamic task involving billions of dollars, advertisement firms, media agencies, government officials, and volunteers. Today, the broadcasting of the Olympics is centered on making it a personal experience, using the internet while intertwining personalized advertisements to its viewers. This great revolution in technology introduced the viewer to follow the action wherever they were and choose the sport they wanted to watch. Television had brought the games into people's living rooms. Now they were everywhere, in offices, bedrooms, schools, and even coffee shops.